Hello everyone, this is David, Fairly Secret Music, and this is my year in Prague. And I thought this was a fitting shirt. The first thing I'm going to talk about is my project. I was going to leave this till the end, but I thought, you know what? Nobody's going to watch this till the end. So, we're called My Eldest Friend, and we have 2 albums. My Eldest Friend, the same page. It used to be called My Eldest Friend is Dead. You'll know why we changed it in a bit. And My Eldest Friend Stop. This has a totally different cover. It was the 3 of us here. I am on drums, Greg's on bass, and our friend Brandon. We did these, when was this? 2001. And then Greg bought a new bass, and we could play all these songs. We couldn't play songs that we had wrote 3 months prior, but we could play these. So we decided to finally re-record it because we had done it previously on 4-track, and before that it was on 8-track. So we never were happy with the sound. We're finally happy. We put them on bandcamp.com under My Oldest Friend. And this album's called Stop. We'll have a different cover. This one's called Same Page. We used to call it My Oldest Friend is Dead, but our guitarist passed away. Brandon passed away. So Greg learned all the guitar parts, and we re-recorded it within the last year. So we just put it out on Bandcamp, I think in September, both of them. September and maybe October. So hopefully you can hear that, a little bit of that, but I normally don't play music in the background. But I'll put it up a little bit more. Cynic Focus. So this is... Oh, and I was going to say, if I didn't... This is a bunch of remixes, remasters, new albums. It's just everything like Prog related and Prog adjacent. So if you haven't heard Cynic Focus, this is the remix of this album. I love it. It has some things that... You know, they've changed a little bit that I was used to, but I still have the old version, 2 versions of it actually, and then this new one. So check this out if you are into technical death metal, or you know, I wouldn't even call them death metal, almost that. Ray Alder's, what is this? 2, Ray Alder 2. So this is a little bit more on the Fates Warning side than his first album. I thought his first album was a bit more straightforward, but still a great album. Fates Warning did 2 remasters this year. They did FWX, which is a fantastic album. You know, I used to think this was kind of like not that great. I didn't own it for a while. Same thing with Disconnected. Disconnected has about 2 or 3 songs that are fantastic, but this version has an alternate version of one of the songs, Someone Everything. It's Over, which is, geez, my lighting down here is awful. Under the Milky Way, I think, is a church cover, but, sorry. I should really grab a flashlight, but I'm actually really enjoying this. They did make it sound a little better than the original, and of course FWX has Another Perfect Day, which is a Bobby Jarzombek demos, and Hideous Mix of Wish, and then Simple Human, which is another drum demo. Not that great of extra things, but this album is so good. You know, the more I listen to it, the more I love it. And this one has a song that was basically on... Let me look to see what it says on here. I can't remember. Oh, It's Over Shutdown Mix, or Shutdown Demo. That ended up being a song on a... Oh, what was that other project with Kevin Moore? OSI, yeah. They re-released Man in the Moon by Nectar. This is kind of more straightforward stuff, but it has Roy back in the band after an album where he wasn't. Correct me if I'm wrong on some of these things, because, you know, I don't know, I'm going fast. This band, Ascenta, who also released this album previously in 2022, very much in the Universe Zero vein, with, you know, clarinet, cello, bass, drums, violin, piano, some guitar in there too. But yeah, this one came out in 2023. It is called Erebus, La Suite de las Sombras. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, that's how you spell their name. I kind of like this one better than this one, but, you know, I can't show that yet. French band Sup put out a new album. These guys are kind of in that Voivod, kind of almost, they're death metal, they're kind of industrial, kind of weird, you know. All of their albums end up being concept albums, and this one, again, is a concept album called Octa. We got Steven Wilson. So here's the thing with this Steven Wilson. I like Future Bites better. The thing is, Future Bites at least had kind of a focus, whereas I felt this was pretty unfocused as to what it wanted to be. There are some tracks that stand out, but some that are just kind of like I forget about them right after I listen to them. Same thing with this. I liked the previous one so much. This is Pattern Seeking Animals, and this album is called Spooky Action at a Distance. I also don't like the cover. I'm not a big fan of the cover. This is the first one that I have felt kind of meh about. The last one had a song called Much Ado, and it was fantastic. Agusa, this is in a lot of people's top 5 or #1 albums of the year. They almost sound like early Jethro Tull without the vocals. My wife, who hates Jethro Tull, she heard this and was like, oh great, you're playing Jethro Tull. And I'm like, no, it's not Jethro Tull. But there were no vocals, so I don't know what she hates the most about Jethro Tull. The vocals, the flute, everything. She calls it going down the rabbit hole kind of stuff. Ring Van Mobius. I have liked the previous 2 better, but this one, he sounds so much like Peter Hamill, at least on the first 2 or 3 tracks. This was kind of an interesting story. They got commissioned to do music for something I can't even remember anymore, but this is an alternate version of that commission, and it's pretty great. They are just awesome. It's a keyboardist, a bass player. No, is it keyboard, bass, and no? Let's see here. Yeah, keyboard, bass, and drummer. I should just keep my glasses off. I usually have a flashlight here so I can kind of look at things. But yeah, check these guys out. Kind of a little bit ELP, but mostly kind of like just like a cool, almost Van der Graaf Generator vibe, because of voice especially. Yes, that's right. Yes, I feel this is the most energetic this band has been in a long time, and rest in peace Alan White. I think it's because of Jay bringing like a more energetic drum feel to the whole thing. Billy Sherwood's bass is really good. I do like the singer. John Anderson always has been a weak link to me in Yes, which is, I know it's fighting words right there, but I do like the new singer, and he does stuff that's a little different than John Anderson, enough to, I mean, not like Benoit David. I thought he was the greatest guy they've had since. But, Moon Safari, Himmelbacken 2. This album starts out sounding like Van Halen's Jump. Like right at the beginning, they have like the exact same synth sound. Then it goes completely away from that. Tons of vocal harmonies, some short songs that are really nice, couple really long songs. What is the really long song? So there's a Teen Angel Meets the Apocalypse, which is 21 minutes long. And then they have two 10-minute songs on here. But the 1980X, Heaven Hill, is the one that kind of just grabs you and pulls you in. Totally suggest getting this. If you have not been able to find other Moon Safari stuff, because I know like their second album and their first album have been out of print. Laser CD, Canover at Laser CD has all of them, and they are all really well worth the price. Well, you guys are here, so I know you buy physical media. Yeah, and hopefully, even if you're a vinyl person, Universe Zero finally put out a new album. Not as good as their previous one, but nothing's as good as their first 5 albums. So it's all a kind of like a diminishing returns kind of thing. This one has a bit more experimentation, some vocals on it that are kind of okay, some kind of weird, kind of noisy-ish stuff. Not too bad, but not the greatest. Peter Hamill. He redid In a Foreign Town and Out of Water 2023. He went full-on Taylor Swift on this because he doesn't have copyrights to the originals. So he re-recorded almost all of it. And Out of Water is one of my favorite albums by him, if not the favorite album by him. And there's a one part where he does this vocal run on the surface, where it's like, on the surface, and he doesn't do that on this. So I was kind of let down, but you know, it's good. Sorry if that sounded weird. I'm trying to not pay attention to the music in the background. Hopefully that is not a distraction, but hopefully enough where you're like, hey, I need to hear that for real. Listen to it on headphones. It's fantastic on good headphones. In a Foreign Town, I'm not quite as familiar with, so I don't know exactly all the things that he changed on that. But Out of Water, I probably won't listen to this a lot because the drums kind of sound like a guy who isn't used to programming drums. And I love the original so much, but I had to have it, you know. The new Peter Gabriel. Everybody has either avoided talking about this or talked about it too much. I think it's really good. The first version I listened to was the 5.1 surround sound version, or the Atmos version, but I only have 5.1 down here. I just think it's really good. His voice hasn't changed at all in the last 40 years. I'm sure it has to the really seasoned Peter Gabriel fans, but to me, he just sounds just as good as 30 years ago. Also, I like the dark mix version because there's the bright mix, there's the you guys all know this. There's the bright mix, the dark mix, and the inner mix. I do like the 5.1 surround sound version the best, probably. Riverside. Now, this is a band that I have avoided because I don't want to usually get a lot of bands that sound very reminiscent of Porcupine Tree. If I want to listen to Porcupine Tree, I'll go listen to Porcupine Tree. But this year, I kind of got more open to them. I also got a band called No Sound, you know, Pineapple Thief stuff. And the first couple songs on this album, I kept on hearing when my wife was listening to Spotify. Or, what did she listen? No, Pandora. And she liked them. So she asked me, hey, when are you going to buy some Riverside? So I thought I'd give this a try. I also picked up a used copy of one of their earlier ones. This is really new. Neil Morse, Dreamer, Joseph Part 1. It has a very Jesus Christ Superstar feel to it. And I was kind of on the fence of whether I needed it or not. And then Ted Leonard sings on like the 3rd track or something like that, 4th track. And that was enough to just make me go, yep, gotta get it. Gotta get it. Ingenious Devices. I always want to call this the Inglorious Bastard EP. Big Big Train. This is re-recordings of East Coast Racer, Book of Ingenious Devices. Well, that's a new part. Brooklyn's Voyager, East Coast Racer, Brooklyn's, and Voyager all redone, kind of. Some parts are remixed. And Atlantic Cable live with their new singer. So they're using all Dave Langdon's original vocals on these. They added a full orchestra or a bigger than string quartet to East Coast Racer because they wanted to kind of keep it in the same level. And he always wanted these 3 to go together. So it's really good. It's really good. I saw it on vinyl along with Grand Tour, and I bought Grand Tour for my buddy Glenn, and maybe I bought him this as a gift. You never know. Let's see what we have here. XTC Big Express. All I can say is the song Wake Up in 5-Point Run is a necessary thing to listen to this year, or in 2024. If you haven't gotten this yet, get it just to listen to that in 5.1. This is one that I haven't really listened to all that much. It's a little bit more band oriented than their previous one. It's DiVirgilio, Morse, and Jennings. It's called Sophomore. What a horrible title. But it is more band oriented. It still has that very Crosby, Stills, and Nash feel to it. As I said, we are Prog adjacent. Mrs. Fripp, Toya Wilcox. Changeling came out on Esoteric. This isn't one of my favorite by her, but I love the artwork, and there are good songs on here. I have to listen to it a lot more to figure out it, you know, whatever, you know. Oh, this is fun. I have to let you guys hear this. Let's bring this up really quick here. This is a song called Problem Child off of the Mildest Friend Same Page album. Alright, so we will move on. It's my video. I can do whatever I want. Anyway, we got Dave Langdon's reissue. So this is Wild River. Apparently he was working on this and wanted to remaster it. It does have a ton of live, and I'm not sure, a couple of them don't say live on it, but the redone artwork, 2-disc set, it's really good. I actually like this one better than the last one. He technically did, but rest in peace, Dave. This is a fantastic Blu-ray DVD. It's continuation, closure and continuation, live in Amsterdam, 7/11/22. This is the Blu-ray DVD version because I refuse to pay $80 for, well, that would be an additional $55 for just 2 audio discs and a booklet. The guy who kind of criticized the music industry for having all these extravagant packages, and everything he puts out, you can't get everything all in one package for a decent price. It's always like super high priced stuff. Does it? Yeah, I'm just not even gonna bother. Anyway, let's talk about a band that is really giving you cool stuff. So I'm going to put this cover like that because it technically looks like this. So this is called Magic of Sin. This is Arabs and Aspic. This version, I can't even pronounce it. Sindenis Magi. So this is the Norwegian sung version, and this is the English sung version. I just flipped the booklet, because this is what the actual booklet looks like. So both of them look exactly the same. One just has Magic of Sin, and one has Magic of Sin in Norwegian. But so I know which one is the one I'm grabbing, I did this. So apparently they originally were going to do everything in English, but it wasn't really working out. So some years later, which is, when year did this get out? 6 years later, they put out the English version. They also remastered, and they might have remixed. I'm not 100% sure on that. They did, what is this called? Picture in a Dream, which is weird because on one side it says Strange Frame of Mind, and one side says Picture in a Dream. But I thought these were going to be impossible to find, but then suddenly they put them both out. And I think they put vinyl out of these too. All remastered and awesome. Let's see here. Let's do these kind of in order when they came out. Live Frank Zappa. I mean, Mud Club and Munich. This one, does this one have all the Terry Bozzio drum solos in it? Yeah, sometimes these things end up, you know, kind of all running together. I finally got the Erie box set because Import CDs had it new for $65 rather than $150, and we got this. We got the Funky Nothingness, which is a lot of it's like a lost album from the vault, picking up where Hot Rats left off, primarily recorded at Record Plant in 1970 with a small core group featuring unreleased music, some produced by Zappa himself. So you get Chunga's Revenge, Tommy and Vincent duo. There's a lot of great, I think it was Ansley Dunbar, yeah. A lot of great drum stuff on there with that. Overnight Sensation, the fancy box set, which has Jesus Christ, what are we getting here? We get 4 discs and a Blu-ray of the whole album in 5.1, which is fantastic. Although I had to turn down my center channel, just so you know. So we got Cabo Hall, Detroit, Michigan, 73. Overnight Sensation, the album with bonus session masters and bonus vault sensations. Bonus vault sensations continued, and Hollywood Palladium continued. What was the first one at the Palladium? I don't remember. Was it? Nope. So I don't know where the... So they must have... yeah. Bonus Vault Sensations starts with the last 3 songs are Hollywood Palladium. I have to really listen to this more. I've basically focused on the 5.1. Huge, nice booklet with everything. Lyrics and... Yeah, it has lyrics. Yep. Camarillo Brillo. Yeah. All right. We are hitting the home stretch here. A band that everybody has been talking about. They put out 2 of the 3 albums. Chronicles of Father Robin. This is a 3-disc set that is, I think the 3rd one is coming out in March. And the 2nd one is kind of like that middle, more mellow section of the storyline, but it's a big concept album. They put it out all on vinyl in 3 albums right away as one big set. But the first one is fantastic. This will hook you. This will make you go, I gotta hear that last one to really appreciate this second one, I think. This is Lars Fredrik Fröley, I think his name is. And this album is called The Fire Fortellinger. This is the keyboard player from Wobbler. There's also Wobbler guys in this. And I think a band called, God, what is it? Samuel Jackson 5. It's kind of like a super group, Chronicles of Father Robin. This is fantastic. There's actually no guitars on it. He uses a bunch of different kind of keyboards to do guitar parts. And it's just really interesting. The bass player is really good. I believe he plays drums on it. It is really well recorded. The one flaw on it is I'm not super stoked about the vocals. They're not horrible, but I think if he would have just left it maybe instrumental or got somebody else to sing, it would be a little better. But you know what? It was all done during lockdown. So did this come out 2023? Yeah, it did. Must have come out really early. Haken. This one didn't grab me. They are a band that I have a difficult time really getting into right off the bat. And I've only listened to this like once or twice. So I got the version with the instrumentals on there. That's always felt rude to me. Like, oh, hey, singer, we're going to give them this album if somebody else wants to record their own vocals or if they just don't think you're that good. But he is good, so I don't know, understand. But all right. Surprisingly good. Jethro Tull's Rock Float. Not the best Jethro Tull, but not too shabby. You know, I wasn't really expecting much. I've only listened to it a couple times, but I don't like the spoken stuff so much. But you know, I can't really say anything horrible about it, but I can't really tell you it's amazing. Not like Gentle Giant's Interview in 5.1. Whew. This album is a tricky album to begin with because I think it really was pushing the envelope in how intricate and crazy this band could get. And this, now listening to it in 5.1, some things make more sense to me and are more accessible to me. Or maybe I'm just older and am easier to get into things, you know. By the way, has Inside Out just gotten everybody? You know, more power to them. But and I love the fact that, you know, like the new Big Train is coming out on Inside Out, because, you know, they've always had stuff that was really difficult to get. Oh gosh, this band released 3 remixes in, no, actually it would go like this, wouldn't it? 3 remaster and partially remixed albums in 2023, plus a new album called Look at You Now. Look at You Now is actually pretty darn good for later day Flower Kings. This is one that I've actually really dug into. You know, I just think with the a bit shorter songs, at least it's only 1 disc. You know, I think sometimes Roy can kind of go overboard with things. This is a fantastic album. This is fantastic and was worth the price. You get 2 discs, right? But this was priced like a 2-disc set. What the hell? They put out the 5.1 Atmos surround sound remaster stereo mix of Dark Side of the Moon. It's exactly what you would expect. It's I didn't think the surround mix was that great. I found this used for $8 because the booklet and the postcards and stickers or whatever the hell came with it were gone. All I really cared about was this disc anyway, and it has the cool artwork where it slides in and stuff like that. So, all right, I gotta fix my stand here. This is one that I listened to all the Gabriel era stuff, but I really haven't gotten back to it. Wow, we're at 32 minutes. So this one is, you know, live BBC broadcast stuff of Genesis. Of course, any Genesis fan needs it. I've seen it go for decent prices. I think I got it for a pretty decent price. I don't even remember how much I paid for it. Speaking of decent price for Jesus, I think this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 discs. 8 discs of Jethro Tull, Broadsword and the Beast. The 5.1 on this is pretty darn good. Nothing that really jumped out at me, but look at this booklet. Holy crap. I think this is the thickest one they've done. Just tons of stuff. I'm not even going to show you. Yeah, I'm going to show you. There's unboxing videos out there. Everybody knows what these things look like. They came with these like pieces of cardboard too. This is the one thing. This is the one thing that people didn't like, was how the CDs fit in there. And I think you can see that. You kind of push them down. You push them down, and then it releases it. I can't do it with one hand, but Broadsword and the Beast. Finally, Marillion's Season's End. I hate this cover. Well, I don't actually really give a shit. But the cover, I guess I don't really care. I mean, it gives enough of the original in there. What I do not like is that they went in, and when they remixed the stereo and 5.1, they took out some of his more present China symbol stuff, like in an Uninvited Guest, where he sings, "You can fly to the edge of the world, you know you'll always find. I have the seat behind you, we can talk about it times." He does this like, and it's just not there. They also took a bunch of China out of Holidays in Eden too. So, you know, I'm not a fan of some of these remixes. I think they overthought things, and I think the original mixes were far superior. Partially because there was like more energy and aggression and not aggression, but just whatever, you know. And last but not least, the thing that I got the same week it came out, but have totally ignored because I just haven't been able to get down here. That's the big thing with box sets like this. I don't want to bring them outside of this area to listen to, and all the discs that are in here are in like sleeves, I believe. I don't know. I did an unboxing video. Let me just look. Yeah, they're all mounted in the book like this. So I can't bring this into my car and check it out. So Anthony, if you're watching this, I still have to listen to Caught in the Crossfire and Battle Lines and everything else on here. Hopefully I reminded you about some things that you may have forgotten about, or, you know, just didn't think to give the time of day, or, I mean, this is pretty damn awesome. Or, you know, maybe you needed somebody to tell you something about the album. Hopefully that's enough for you. That was 2023. That was just my prog and slightly prog adjacent. That's not talking about any metal or like regular rock things and stuff that I got. And so yeah, and that's how you do it. We'll close out with part of Spilling the Salt off of My Oldest Friend, The Same Page. Lots of Odd Time. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Check them out. All right. See you next year. There's probably going to be one of those vinyl tags or something like that. I'll do a CD version.